The Great North Air Ambulance Service is in its 20th year this year, and in that time, the crews have responded to more than 23,500 incidents. Joining me now is CEO David Stockton and critical care paramedic Jamie Walsh. David, we'll start with you. In order to keep this service going, you need to raise £6.7 million a year. I mean, that's a great deal of money without being in a cost of living crisis.
Absolutely, it's a staggering amount of money. What I can reassure everybody is that money is put to great use. So we have lots of ways of raising that money, and the public have always been very generous in our 20 years of supporting us to do that. So whether that be mass participation events, or whether it's supporting us through our recycling programmes of clothing, or legacies, is one of our biggest forms of income. They generally come out and help us to do that every time.
What does that money go towards? Because your fuel costs for the helicopter that is behind me, that must have gone skyrocketed as well.
Yeah, so we face the same challenges every other business that's out there. So our gas, our electricity, our normal utility bills have all gone up. Our normal fleet diesel has gone up almost 180%. I think it is. It wasn't that long ago we were commenting on £1 a litre for diesel. It's now obviously touching towards £2, isn't it, for our normal fuel? And so our fleet is very expensive. The helicopter you'll see behind us, incredibly expensive to maintain and run. We use about 25,000 litres of fuel in that every month. So that again has gone up about 3 times multiple to where it was. So hugely expensive. So everything that you see, whether it be a bandage, a drug, an intervention, Jamie that you've got stood next to us here, or our doctors, everything needs paid for, and we face the same challenge as every other business.
But what happens if you don't raise £6.7 million?
I mean, without being dramatic, we won't be here. We've been very fortunate over the last 20 years that the public has seen the need. They've supported our cause greatly to put that full medical kit, whether it be the helicopter, the emergency department, effectively out to the scene. They've supported us very well to do that. So we do have some reserves which sourced through the pandemic. That, along with some very generous giving and some participation in our events. Things like of the Great North Run, for instance, that's a huge money earner for us, getting people to go out there and to raise funds for us. Mm-hmm. So people have done that all the time, but without being dramatic, we couldn't be here without the public support, so we're eternally grateful for that.
Couldn't be here. Jamie, can you just very quickly explain how crucial your role is and what happens when you get to a scene?
Yeah, I mean, we cover from the Scottish borders to the Yorkshire borders, not east coast to west coast, so we cover 8,000 square miles of the UK to provide that, like David said, the emergency department to the scene. So that's anaesthesia and surgical skills and critical care skills to those patients who at that time are probably the most critically unwell patients in the country. And we have that opportunity to sort of make that situation a lot better. And it's a very privileged position to have, you know, the people of the north of England, the northeast and northwestern Cumbria, to, you know, help us deliver this kind of care to those patients who are most in need. But we are that resource for that region. You know, this kind of critical care can't be delivered by anyone else in this region, so it is imperative that we continue to get that support to raise that money to provide this service.
Jamie Walsh and David Stockton, thank you so much. A deeper look at the cost of living crisis and how it affects charities and rescue services that are so crucial to the north of England.